I'm wearing the yellow, the alternate. Should
Is
have
that the
worn purple.
ultimate?
Yeah, it's I don't know, it's a throwback. It's something like that. I don't know, it's Tate Cazadores on it.
We should get you a Cazadores shirt.
Oh yeah, I've been
Freely
meaning to do
market
that.
on.
There are tons of fabric. with Rome being really big into fashion, there's a ton of fabric stores. Figured I
Yeah.
might as well just make one myself.
There you go. There you go. All right.
Let's make one right
I'm
now.
going to pull this up so I can see. All right. Tom, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just
Alright.
trying to get the YouTube up. If it's, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing too.
All right, so
Why is it double doing that? Let's see.
Oh shit! There we are.
oh wait, really, it works?
I'm bringing it up now.
There we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, this is funny. Oh, bro. Man. This is a surreal experience.
This is happening.
Oh, well. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am not your host, but I am the one, the only mayor of Bomb City Mafia himself in the flesh. Once again, with that classic overconfidence that I brought to the last interview. And I'm with the host. I'm pointing to the screen right now. The host, Mr. Donny Dickshot himself.
Yeah, what is going on, everybody? This is the BHB Tonight live with myself, Donny Dickshot. If I can point in the right direction, we got the mayor of Bomb City, as he already said, Mafia, and then we have Tom Schaefer on the bottom there. So here we go. So this is really just going to be kind of just off the wall. We're not really going to be doing any sort of script or nothing, but we are going to be going over the playoffs. What I want to do first before we do that is get into the Week 10 games. As we all know, the games were actually played a little early. So I just want to get your guys' thoughts on Tom first, on your guys' last series against the Steamers. If you want to give us a little highlight of it, give us your thoughts on what happened.
Well, we dropped more games to the Steamers than I would have liked because they were trying to tank. we split with them, and so that's not good. I mean, it's better than our first series. Our first series, we only won one game, and that was just luck. We also, I think, lost the first series 13-1 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
That was pretty brutal. I thought that was good. The season was looking bleak at that point, but this last series, we showed that offensively we're still good. We're still much improved there, but defensively our pitching has been slipping. Other teams are catching up when they're hitting, and it's causing our team to slip. And our progression costs more now, so we're slipping a little bit there on pitching.
Kind of progression. That's good to know because that's one thing I have to say about the Turkeys is that their pitching. I got the stats here. I can't really show you guys right now, but when you look at runs given up compared to every other team, there's a gap. There's like a significant gap between the man meats at the top, everyone else in the middle, kind of around average, and then way down at the bottom is Kirky, right? So if you're saying that the defense is kind of slipping, that could be a sign that something's going up, But if that's what I thought is that your bats were kind of regressing, or not regressing, but not achieving what they could have. Sort of, because you got like Cash Money, you've got Tom Shade, you got a lot of guys from the previous season that, should be a good sign. So them coming up and really showing it.
I mean,
that's a good
Turkeys.
sign.
They were 28-12. I think they did just fine,
Yeah.
even with
they're winning. They're winning.
You know, I'm just glad that the man meets won 11 games.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
mean, they got above
I
10.
think
I was
They
happy.
did get above
This is
10.
this is my first hot take. They are going to make the playoffs next year. My hot take.
Oh,
They're in the new division, right? They're in.
Yes,
Yes.
they're in the new
Yeah.
division with us. So I'm going to be a little bit kind of I'm going to say, yeah, the Cazadores are probably going to go back just because we're retaining everyone except for Joey and Trent Williams. But, Trent Williams is different. But also, we've got two expansion teams, right? And, New York and the consolation kind of muddled this prediction because as soon as I knew when the divisions were going into place, I knew kind of like, oh, it's going to be us and Man Meats in the playoffs. But even with this consolation kind of showing the might of LA and New York, I still think, the Man Meats have a lot of good players. I think really it just matters is they need a number two guy. I think every team has some sort of number two guy, right? So I had Joey and Dusty, and I had these guys.
Biscuit Basher.
Biscuit
Yeah.
Basher. You've got to have kind of a supporting cast around the owner, player, and a few guys. So once you find one more guy that's really active like that, I think the Man Meats are set. They could even beat us. They could even beat us in the make a run for the Bartolo. Honestly, because going kind of transitioning into our series after game one, I was like, oh no, this is the worst is happening. The Man Meats are actually winning. They really for the first two games. I don't know if you guys saw this because it was kind of early. They were handing it to us. Not gonna lie. We lost the first game, and the second game was a real squeaker. So I was not, because we had wrote off this optimism. Oh, we took 3 out of 4 of the Steamers. Oh, we beat the Crickets 3 out of 4. And we come in, and the Man Meats are starting to put up a real fight.
Yeah.
And it worried me. I wasn't doubting that the Crickets were. I'm not gonna. I thought the Crickets weren't gonna catch up to us after the series, but at the time I was kind of subconsciously like, oh God, what if it happens? The apocalypse theory type thing.
I mean, the Meats, for what it's worth, the Meats played tough. They played the Steamers tough, even though they lost a lot. They played them tough, and for what it's worth, at least for Kirky, the only other team, the Steamers beat us more. The only other team that beat it, the second most winning team against us was the Meats, and there's nothing I could do against them. Like when they were going to win, they were going to win, and it's just hurt, but it was good for them.
Yeah, and then going over our series with the Crickets, I thought that we would at least sweep the series, not really sweep, but win 3 out of 4. But the Crickets, I mean, they played us pretty well. I mean, they beat us 9-4 in that first game, and then we came back, won 6-1. Then we won 10-4, and I was like, all right, we're on a pretty good little roll here going to the playoffs. And then we ended up losing that last game 7-3. But they're that team that's just Sully's taken that over, I believe.
Yeah,
I like the Sully the leadership.
Sully's taken over, and he has proven in other sim leagues time and time again that he can really build a team and do an actually great job. So I'm really looking for the Crickets or whatever they're going to be called next season, because I think they'll be something different. More than likely. I look for them really to kind of excel up next year too. So really, it's going to be an interesting season next season, especially when we add New York and LA. But we'll see how all that goes.
Next season, because I've played a ton of SMB3, right? It's way more kind of. It leaves a lot more for narratives type thing. You'll go up 5 points and then suddenly they'll rally behind. Mojo in 2, is really hard to kind of gain and lose.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll get a guy who just gains a bunch of mojo off a good play, and then all of a sudden he starts, killing the ball type thing. So I'm really excited. And plus, stealing isn't, a complete crapshoot anymore. That's my big thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Cazadores got burned so many times off terrible stealing.
Yeah, your stealing was pretty rough.
And really, like, I mean, I just kept thinking the entire season, I'm like, is anybody going to quit stealing on Ricky Rodriguez? I mean, the dude, the guy threw everybody out. I went back and looked, and there was like at one point, I think only like 2 successful steals on him. Like by week 7, there was only like 2.
Yeah, there was.
He was an outfielder last year for us, so converting. So he's
a converted catcher.
Yeah, he was a converted catcher after Howie left to go start the man meets. So, but
so all of that,
he's done a pretty good job for us.
Ouch.
Yeah. So gonna roll into playoff preview. Obviously kind of went through. I wasn't able to really get anything for the player of the week, so we're just gonna skip player of the week because this was, like I said, gonna be a different show.
It's everybody, yay!
So the playoff preview for people that don't know, obviously you have 4 teams in there. So you have the Turkeys with the top spot, the Steamers in second, us, the Mad Pandas in third, and then the Cazadores making their first playoff appearance in fourth. So going over the preview, we'll go over the first one, which will be the Turkeys and the Cazadores. So since both of you are in here, it's like the perfect series to start with.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Mafia first. Just kind of give me your thoughts on this upcoming series.
Right. So it's been a pretty good day. It's been a pretty good couple of weeks in Bomb City. At one point we really were like, oh, are we going to make the playoffs? And, I talked about it before. We ride off this optimism. We rode off the Crickets. We beat the Steamers, which I didn't even think I thought we were going to split at least, or at most. We beat the Man Meats, right? We come off all of this optimism, and all of the signs, the stats are pointing to some sort of good performance. Because I'm looking at the ops. Joey Phillips is a 892. Jamie Borquez 973. Trent Williams 900. Biscuit Basher 1079. And of course, Patty Mack, the golden goose at the beginning of the year, 938 ops. So we've got guys who can kill the ball. And, I don't think you need to be, a super big fan like I am to appreciate just how many dingers we hit. We hit 63. Oh, wait, hold on. No, 67. And that's not including pitchers or Zach Grummett hit one and then he retired, So I think our bats are going to be just fine. Even against the Turkeys who shut us down every time, I think our bats are going to be fine. But I think the key to this series is our rotation. Because we have 4 pitchers who can be incredibly good or incredibly bad. Ricardo Zaragoza is really good, but his most recent performance against the Meats, that left something to be desired. Jade Richards is probably our best pitcher so far. She almost complete game swept the Steamers. She's been a really good pickup. Shout out Charlie Bubblegum. But stats wise, like our ratings aren't as good as Zaragoza, which could be bad. Tommy Simpson's looking pretty good. I think honestly it comes down to, can our starters get the job done, and can Froyo Zen and can Carter Williams not blow a game? Because oh my God,
yeah,
they have Froyo Zen. He has pitched to 87 batters. He has almost 20 innings of work. He has a 973 opposing ops. He is terrible. Carter Williams, 48 innings pitched, 12 home runs given up. It's just, it's tough. It's tough.
That's
we
right.
Basically have to just cross our fingers, hope it's K now, hope it's Simir, or hope, pray to Jesus Christ that, little baby Jesus Christ, that we don't die. We don't die out there in the hands of
baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Our Lord, baby Jesus Christ. Other than that, I think we have like 6 MVP candidates, and I think the Turkeys are going to make this really interesting because they've handed it to us every time. I think Tom can talk a little bit better about them, but I'm saying this I really wouldn't want it any other way for the first series. You know, even if we have to lose, you know, I wouldn't really mind. To be honest, this is a good team we're facing. All 4 teams are good to face. You know, I'm not gonna complain.
For us, I didn't want to play you guys. I wanted you guys to. I wanted to play the Steamers, the Pandas, because the Cazadores right now they got the hot hand. And while I think our record is 7-1 against the Cazadores, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because this is playoffs. You know, okay, we won the regular season, so what? You know, now it's time to win the whole thing. But our pitching has been slipping compared to your guys, and it's dangerous to me. My preference would have to play Donny. Actually, I wanted to play the Pandas, but because I think the Pandas had a little bit of trouble in our stadium. Our stadium is kind of our secret weapon with our pitching, and the home field advantage was important for us, and that was really what we were striving for at the end of the season. And everybody got on board and did their check-ins and everything else, so that way we can get our home field advantage. But our relief pitching is going to matter big because the game's tone will be set in the beginning, in the early innings, whether our pitchers get locked in or not. You know what I mean? And towards the end, our pitchers have a really good endurance. So as long as they have their endurance, or if hopefully the Cazadores don't sit there and keep on fouling out. You know, I want them to, you know, strike out or hit the ball. You know,
hit the ball first time,
first pitch. You know, leave some juice in the arms of my guys.
So dusty cross swinging bunt. You know, just first pitch, right to the third baseman.
So that's what, you know, that's a big deal, and we'll see what happens. Our relief pitching is going to be really important, and so the tone will be set in the beginning, and the games will be decided when it comes time to pull the pitchers, when it comes relief pitchers. So like 7th inning or so, that's where you're going to see, or the 6th inning maybe, but 7th inning, that's where you're going to see all the runs scored, because both have good rotations, and they're going to try to keep them down, or at least as best we can, right? And it's the same for Cazadores, I'm sure. It's the relief pitching that is going to lose us the game, or them the game, and that's the important thing. So hopefully our hitting stays up and their hitting stays up, and I expect their hitting to be good. I just hope that their pitching, which is a little weaker than our pitching, is what ends up putting us over the top. Is that our pitching, our relief pitching, or our starters can go a little bit longer, and then have a closer come in with Cash Money there and just close it out.
Yeah, Cash Money's lights out. I swear, he's you know,
he doesn't lose games, and that's the relief pitchers will not win you a game, but they will lose it for sure.
Yeah.
So it's important to have the relief pitchers there to hold up for the team, and that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that really works out for us. So that's where I see the series. It's going to be the batting. Yeah, I think there'll be a lot of offense, but it's the pitchers who are going to decide who goes on from here.
Exactly. I think exactly.
Yeah, and just being outside looking in on your guys' series, I mean, I agree with you guys 100% that it's going to be down to pitching because, you know, San Juan with Saragossa, you know, their top of their rotation is pretty good. The Turkeys, obviously, you guys have been the top team the past 2 years. So, yeah, you guys have a good rotation. But it's going to be, like you said before, you know, the early part of the innings is what's going to determine the game because the relief pitchers aren't going to win you that game, but you're absolutely correct. They will lose it. So, definitely agree with that 100%. So before I get into the last series, give a shout out to the big man. The big man's in the chat.
Let's check the chat.
Wanted to give a shout out to the big man because you know, he was able to announce some games for us this season. He did a really good job. I want to give a shout out to Smooth as well for some of the graphics he's been doing with the cards, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
So Wanted to give
Smooth
all those
Grizzly's
guys.
been
Yeah,
great.
he has
Yeah.
been. So
Hey, smooth. If you want that Joe Thomas rookie card, let me know because I know you're a Cleveland fan. Yeah, I'm not gonna sell it or anything. I'll just have it rotting away in my binder. But you're a fan. No, I'll give it to you for free because why not?
not even Tim Couch would buy that card. Like, what are we talking about here?
Joe Thomas.
It's a Brown.
Yeah, but he's like
It's a
the
Brown.
only good Brown. He's the only good Brown.
He's like Cal Ripken to the Orioles.
Yeah, exactly.
True. That's a good point.
Mhm.
So,
Like, oh,
so getting into the final series, the Steamers and the Mad Pandas, I can talk about this one since obviously I'm the Mad Pandas owner. But it's going to be an epic series. It always is between us. I think Darla comes back tomorrow from Dong's vacation. Unless he sends her back early. I'm not 100% sure. If he ever wants to tell me what happened, he can. But really, for us, it's going to be about getting up early on the offense because Barry Steak Fries, the people that are on that team like Kevin Chumbawamba, Dong Mattingly, Roger Chambers. I mean, the list goes on and on for that team. I mean, they're just a great team.
yeah, they're stacked.
They're stacked.
Stacked.
And they're even stacked in the relief part too, in the back end. So, getting on them early and keeping the pressure is what's going to be the key for us. Because for us, our weakness is definitely the bullpen because we don't have anybody. Okay, the only guy I had was Big Al's character. Sorry, Tom. Sorry to bring up Big Al, but you know what? I'll tell you this: that trade. I mean, obviously we couldn't have predicted what happened, but that trade was such a godsend for us because Devin Anthony has just been phenomenal.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been so good in left field.
I prefer to keep him on the bench on Turkey.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that Devin Anthony in this series, will dominate on that side, and then if we end up winning and then meeting you guys in the finals, or Cazadores in the finals, whoever, hopefully he continues because he's been raking.
I almost got Big Al. I was really, I wasn't really gonna give Patty away for that much.
Yeah.
But Patty was on the table, Trent was on the table, and considering how well Trent did almost immediately after I started putting his name out there, I'm glad I didn't because he's
Well, and he was a Mad Panda before, so that's what he was at year one was with us. But like I said, for us, it's going to be getting up early on these guys because they're if we don't, like I said, Barry Steak Fries will shut us down game one automatically.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Your team is your team has a really strong kind of balance, between starting pitching and batting. But I remember from our games against each other that if we manage to maintain we're just a run down and it's the seventh inning, there goes pressing. Now it's I don't know what your reliever. I forgot your reliever.
It's a crapshoot.
There goes generic reliever number 3.
Generic reliever 1, generic reliever 2. I think our
boom,
closer
Biscuit Basher hits
Xavier.
1 yard. Boom, Joey Phillips hits a double. So
Yeah.
I think it's just a matter of stamina with both of them. To be honest, I think the Steamers do have the advantage on not rotation in relieving, but I don't think they have as strong of a rotation.
Yeah.
Well, also it depends, how Steak Fries does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, he might shut you down, but if he comes out the way he comes out when he's bad, he's bad.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
If he comes out bad and he's only really going to get, he could get 2 shots at you, I guess, but I imagine they're only going to give him 1 shot at you. So if he comes out bad, then that's a game already planned for you. If he comes out good, you probably lost the game. It depends how he's going to do for that.
Yeah, and we've seen both sides. Because the first game we played against him, he totally dominated us, and then the second game, I think we came out and got 6-7 runs off of him in 5 innings. So we've seen the best of both worlds from Barry Steak Fries, that's for sure. I know that Dong is in here. He's being silent, but if he's available, if he wants to talk real quick, he can. He may be off running around somewhere.
No, we can get him on
anytime.
later, but
Yeah.
if I were the Steamers, I'd make sure not to waste that lineup because they got in my opinion, they've got Chumbawamba. They've got guys in like the back of their order. If they were on the Cazadores, they'd be like top 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think the Steamers come out weak. This is similar thing to what happened in our series that whenever they came out weak, the Cazadores would end up winning. Whenever the Steamers just kept applying pressure, and this happened a lot more in the earlier series, they just blow us away.
Yeah, because obviously you got Chumbawamba, like I said, Mattingly, Chambers, Thermos Monsoon can come up and just hit a couple of home runs if he wants. They still got Bickle in there as well. He's progressed up pretty good, at least from first season too. So, they're a tough team. They're going to be a tough team.
They're going to be really tough.
And like I said, it'll probably end up going to 7 games because that's just how we always go.
I just want both of them to go to 7 games.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to go to 7. But we'll see. So, all right. So, like I said, we're going to be talking about these playoff series. I wanted to kind of go over the elimination tournament, actually.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of slipped my mind. I jumped right into our stuff, and I totally forgot about the elimination. So
yeah, we're sorry for being so selfish.
Yeah, we are selfish.
Sorry,
we're selfish bastards.
No.
I did notice. I believe the Wild Things won it. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes, they did 10-8.
Yeah, 10-8. So the first game was the Crickets and the Empire, with the Empire taking that 5-4. Some stats in there. Joey Phillips hit a home run, so hopefully he didn't waste that bat in that game.
Yeah, he was slumping. He was slumping coming. He was slumping in the last couple of games. So if he hits like he did during this series, Tom.
I've tried to trade for Joey so many times.
No, every time I know he's
Mafia will not allow. It's absolutely not on the table.
No. Joey is super smart. Like, he's a really smart guy. So I fully expect the Empire to be really well run. And I haven't had the chance to talk to Grizzly, but if they can take the man meets, did they play the man meets? Who played the man meets?
No, they did not play the man meets.
Oh, okay. Well, if they can go and win the consolation against 2 established teams, that's confidence to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so McCringle in that game hit a home run and had 3 RBIs. Sparkles added an RBI as well. John Cena for the Crickets hit a home run and 2 RBIs. Toboggan, who I believe left, had an RBI, and Mighty Bunch Jr. with an RBI. So overall, pretty decent game out of them. Simpson went 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 strikeouts. Froyo Zen got the save in that one, 2 innings. Pitched pretty good, had 3 strikeouts. Bart Danielson, who is going to be a tough pitcher next year, I think. 7 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 earned, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. So pretty decent game out of them. The Wild Things, who I believe have the best logo in the BHB.
I love that logo. I love it.
Dude, that logo is fantastic. Going up against the Man Meats, some highlights from there. O'Shea had an RBI. Soof had an RBI. Some bench player named Lundegaard had an RBI. No home runs in that game except for one that came out of Rob Masters for the Man Meats. So, but like I said, the Wild Things took that game 3-2, and then in the championship, as we talked about, the Wild Things beat the Empire 10-8. Phillips hit a home run in that game too. So,
yeah,
maybe he's got a hot bat going into this series.
Yeah,
I hate to lose it.
Yeah. So either he's got a hot bat or he wasted all those good at bats.
Yeah, jeez. And where's this energy in San Juan? Who said you were a power bat?
Yeah. So especially a leadoff too. He was leading off in the game. Let's see. Big Al went 2 for 5. We don't care. And then he went 3 for 5 with a home run, 4 RBIs. So they had some big production out of them. But like I said, the Wild Things in the end got the win. O'Shea hit 2 home runs with 5 RBIs. Henderson, he got a home run with 2 RBIs. So, it was a pretty good elimination tournament to watch. I just didn't watch the last game, but I watched the first 2. So that was pretty good. Pretty good series. Is there any thoughts on that, guys?
I got Oh, go ahead.
All right, go ahead first. I don't really have much to say.
Yeah, so the Wild Things will be good. They'll be very competitive, I think. Especially towards the second half of the season when they start catching up in progression, they're going to be good.
Yep.
I think the Crickets are extremely underrated. They're going to be a damn good team, and they're going to be as good as any other team coming into it. Maybe not the first or second series, but after that, you're going to see them really showing up, and that's scary to me. And as far as like Danielson's pitching or whatever, if you see his pitching, he actually gets a lot of strikeouts and things, but he gets the progression points, but he loses the games, which is interesting to me. If you look at his games, he's losing them because his relief pitching is not there, and I think the Crickets are going to fix that. I think the relief pitching will be there, and it's gonna change things for them, and they're going to do damn well. I mean, Max Bunce is going to be a solid player, not yet, but he's going to be. And it points to they lost and only just, but they did lose, but they're a different team, and they're a different team than we've seen all year, including when they were in the playoffs. They're going to be a very different team. They're going to be a real. I don't know if I call them a contender yet, but they're going. I think they're going to go to the playoffs.
They're going in the right direction. I think. I think. I don't know about Danielson re-signing. I think the key. This kind of goes to Sully.
You're right.
The key,
You're right.
Yeah. The key to getting the Crickets back into like the conversation for a champion is to get rid of the Crickets, like the Crickets kind of ethos type thing.
Yeah.
Because when I came into this, right, every team was like, oh, hey, you want to sign with us just for the playoffs, maybe get some progression points down the line before you start the Castores, right? 3 different cricket players DM me different things and told me different things, like, oh, you can start, oh, you can be on the bench, stuff like that. I don't know if it was a terrible impression, because I did the same thing, and when I was starting out, I was basically just spamming everyone. But I think once you get the name Crickets, I think needs to, I like the idea of rebranding them and moving them, because I think, the name Crickets is kind of weak. But I think that, once we get the Chicago Kill Destroyers or whatever Sully comes up with. I don't know what's going on in that mad mind of his, but I'm excited to see what he comes up with. Once you rebrand the team a little bit and show people that you're the new team on the block, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have without a doubt that they're going to be a contender. I really think they've got pieces. Mantis Toboggan was one of their better players, so it's a shame he had to leave. But
I don't think he was very active anyway.
He wasn't active, but he was.
I don't think he was active.
Higher up. William tried really hard to get rid of him, so maybe he knew ahead of time.
Yeah, probably. And I agree. I think that I think this next season the races even at the bottom are going to be a lot closer than people think. Because obviously we'll probably go out during the off season and try to get some more players into the league. But as far as like the Empire, going off the Empire first, they've already got like a pretty decent, strong foundation there with Phillips and all them. So I think they're going to be pretty decent. Just depends on if they get everything put together. The Crickets, I agree. I think the move to have Sully start running that team, no offense to William Thompson. I mean, he did a great job. But just having Sully there just helps tremendously because, people that have been around in the sim game for a little bit, we know what Sully can do. So very good to have him on there. I think, obviously, yes, they lost Toboggan, but if they re-sign everybody for the most part, add in a key free agent or two, I think they're going to be very tough.
Sully might be able to recruit him. That's
exactly. Sully might be able to recruit too. So that's the other part of that.
And
I think the recruition wave, when you put it in the Reddit post, right, and like 50 people came in,
yeah,
I think we're going to see that times 5, you know.
Yeah,
in the
especially
offseason.
because like I said,
And that means
especially
like
as Sully
7 or
does.
8 active players. That
Yeah.
means like, you know, maybe half a
Mhm.
team could be filled.
Yeah, especially like I said, Sully's pretty good at recruiting some people too. So
Yeah.
I could definitely see him doing that. The Wild Things, they got a great foundation as well already. So they're right there. I mean they could be a sneaky playoff team next season. I don't know, but that means one of you guys, not me, is going to have to be knocked out.
No.
To say the Pandas are, to me, have the most interesting offseason because the Wild Things and the Empire are going to be recruiting, and they're a little bit iffy. I mean, they're the outsiders coming in,
Mm-hmm.
So the most established teams are the ones who have an advantage, and it's interesting to me to see what you're going to do with the Pandas, with free agency and everything. I mean, I know that some people, like Mafia is over here recruiting like crazy, and
Oh yeah.
he's talking to everybody, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with your team, because to me, every other team, at least to me, has some apparent what they're going to do. Your team is the one that I don't know what you're going to do, and
Yeah.
and also though, you do have a great thing, like you have your players are really at least to me loyal, because when I hit them up they were like, no, not really, I'll
Okay.
take the Panda thing out, and it was that reaction I got from pretty much every other team.
Yeah, and that's why I love my guys. I mean, they're pretty loyal. They're very loyal. Now, obviously, yeah, our free agency is going to be a little different this year because we'll have few players will be replacing, some guys that are going to be gone after we're done just due to inactivity and not progressing. So we'll try to hit some spots up with there. If they have to be rookies, they have to be rookies. But that's kind of what we did last season was we, lost a couple players. I lost Howie, I lost Trent Williams, I lost these guys, plugged them in with new players, and we've pretty much
that worked really well actually.
Yeah, so pretty much stay course. That's why, like, when I made that trade for Devin, I talked to Devin beforehand because I was like, hey, commit next season and then I'll pull this deal. So that's, and that's Tom, so that's what happened. But, because I want to have committed guys. So for us to do that, we got to make sure that they're going to stay committed and stay in the league. So, but yeah, it'll be a very interesting offseason for sure.
Definitely. That's what I did with Charlie too. Well, it was a little different. It was a little. I don't want to get too into details. I want to slander the past regime of the Crickets, but Charlie was an impasse. He was an impasse with the Crickets organization. So
it worked out well for you.
Yeah,
it
so
worked out
just
well
talked it over
for Charlie, and
Jay Richards.
Worked out well for the Crickets. I even think actually, because I don't know that that's how it was gonna work out, but it did work out that way, and I think that it just really it was a nice surprise all around. Everybody won on that one.
Yeah, those are the types of trades I like.
I mean, I don't think there was really any like terrible trade. I don't think. I mean, unfortunately, mine for us just because Big Al left, but that wasn't.
That was a bad.
That wasn't apparently bad. It wasn't like Big Al was like.
Yeah, but no, yeah. For me, it was a good trade because I wanted him for the playoff push, right? Because he was going to what was it, Empire, right?
New York, yeah.
Yeah. So it was. I just wanted him for the playoff push, and I talked to him. And I was like, "Hey, look, I'm renting you. I'm buying you for the playoffs, and that's it." And I didn't have so much space, and Devin's going to sit there on the bench. I mean, what fun is that? So it's like, let's let's talk about it, because Devin didn't have. He wasn't where he needed to be on the field, right? Because he just started, and he was a good guy, and like all power to him. It's just it was better that he's on another team,
Yeah.
And I mean, he's welcome back, but he when Big Al came, I guess some feelings were hurt or something there. But I don't know. I guess
I think they were. I think because I didn't really warn him that anything was going to happen. I just told him, I said, hey, like right before I accepted that deal, I hit him up and I said, listen, this is what's happening. I'm going to trade you. I said, I'm trying to get value for not just now, but for the future. And he didn't. He just said, okay. Didn't say anything back. Didn't say nothing about it.
In all fairness,
Right.
he seemed good with me when I talked to him. He was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you're going to go, on Kirky, it's all right. That's pretty good, I think, and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And then after that, he just left it. But the thing is even without that, he hit, I think he went up to bat 24 times or something and hit twice or something.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
and the other thing is he wasn't even advancing the runners because he's a power hitter. Okay, let's do it. That's okay.
Yeah.
I'll take the advance in the runners. He didn't do it. And it's really tough. And he has the same stats as before, his build, but now it's different because I guess, you create a new player or whatever, but that was rough. That was a tough pill to swallow for me. It's just now, and it's nobody's fault. And then he left, so I didn't get the chance to progress him. So that way it creates him, it changes everything to him because whatever it is with his build or whatever just isn't working. But now that he's on our bench, officially, I think he's already had his funeral, but he's on our bench. So he's come out, I think maybe like 5 times, and he's hit for like 3. He's hit, I think 2 doubles. No, maybe he hit 4 times, 2 doubles, 2 singles or something. He's actually been really good coming out.
Okay.
DH.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, and I think to me, just kind of touching back on Big Al real quick, and then we'll move on because we don't want to waste too much time with him.
We miss you.
He was Jimmy Dingers 2.0, is what he was. Because when he came into the league, this is what the problem is with, and I tell these guys all the time, when they first start and they put plus 20 into power, and it's like you're not gonna be able to hit the ball. Like it's either gonna be a fly out, barely,
especially in 3.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're gonna strike out. And if you do actually get a hold of 1 out of 24, then yeah, you're gonna get hits, and that's why Big Al, because there was games where Big Al stretches where he may have went 2 for 15 in a series, and it was just, he was active as heck and he was getting progression, but he kept putting it towards power and kept putting it towards power. And then kind of Devin kind of did the same thing a little bit, and I was like, hey, throw everything into contact, and it's worked out ever since for him. But yeah, word of the wise for new players: don't put 20 into power.
Don't put 20 into power unless your name is Biscuit Passion.
Yeah, just don't put 20 into power. So there was a couple.
Don't put 20 into anything.
Yeah, put 20 in. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
speed.
When my player first came out, I put it all in speed.
See, I was gonna say into speed is a little different story.
I can steal.
Is a little different.
My guy can steal a base like nobody's business.
Yes, he can.
When he first started out, he couldn't get on base, and that was a problem.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So some of the questions that came up in the chat, Wildfire asked a few of them, but he wanted to know if any free agent predictions, anything that any player we think is going to go somewhere,
Well, Wildfire is a left fielder, and with Patty Mack is active, kind of. He does his progression sometimes. He's not checked out, basically, but we might move past the Patrick McKinstry phase, as fun as it's been. And he's a left fielder. So we've got him. We've got a couple guys that we're looking at right now. Wildfire, if you want to be a Cazador, hit me up. I'm not gonna say you're the only. I'm not gonna lie to you and say you're the only left fielder we're looking at right now. We've the whole league corner basically.
Here's my thing for Wildfire. Why go to the 4th ranked team when I can put you on the 3rd ranked team?
Oh, we're not going to be 4th ranked. We're not going to be 4th ranked.
or Tom's going to come in and say, "Well, why don't you just come to the best team?"
Yeah, come to the best team.
Yeah.
My problem is I got to cut a pitcher. That's my problem. I got almost pitching space.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to be interesting too next season when you can only make 1 player instead of having 2 players for each person. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
But I do have a pitching spot open, so anybody? What's up?
I'll tell you what I'll have open. I'll have right field, and I will have right field, and center field.
Center field.
Go center
So my
field.
whole- So my whole outfield will be, except for Devin, will be replaced. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning towards recruiting for it though, to be honest. Like if I have Wildfire, that'd be really cool. He comes back to the team that started it all. But also, if I'm being honest, I really like, I like the experience with Dusty, with Biscuit, with Bob Marley, even earlier with Joey, just getting these guys into the league, and then this is like the team that they're kind of growing up with,
yeah,
sort of.
Yeah.
And it's even like that with whatchamacallit, with Charlie Bubblegum, because he really was kind of one of the only guys on that old Crickets team that was really active.
Mhm.
So once I traded for him, it was like a breath of fresh air for him. He's talking a lot more. He's having a better time, I think. I don't want to put words into his mouth, but it certainly
Yeah.
seems like he's
Yeah, I
enjoying
mean,
himself.
Was like toboggan, you know what I mean? Like they might not be having a great time, losing, and they're going to be less active. It's just the way it goes,
Yeah. True.
So,
Or, yeah, and chat, perfect. Where's Rizzo headed? Where do you think Rizzo's headed? I think he's re-signed.
Was he
Steamers
on
are
the
really good.
Steamers now, right? So
Yeah, he's staying on the Steamers. Have a really good way of retaining talent like that.
yeah,
I want to make a run. I've got, I could make a run for their guys, but Dong's gonna pull out some sort of steamer incentive, and they'll stay in Cleveland forever.
He's a tough guy to recruit against because the Steamers have good culture. So there's
Yeah,
tough
they've got a
to
great
recruit against.
culture.
For me, every guy I went after, I mean, every guy I talked to basically was like, "Yeah, I'll listen to you, but probably not."
But I like the Steamers.
But
I'll probably just go to Cleveland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's why I ended up with guys like Trent and Johnny Burns, and the complete bottom of the barrel in the beginning of the season was because so many guys were like, "Oh, I'm gonna stay in Jamaica. I'm gonna stay in Cleveland. I'm gonna stay in Irvington."
Yeah.
I mean, once you get
built
that,
such good cultures.
once you get that good rotation, that set or players, it's real. I mean, it becomes easier, I guess, because for me, I mean, while obviously everybody still goes free agent. I mean, when I asked around like who wants to stay and who wants to go, it was a quick conversation, and that was nice, And I know the teams like the Meats or Crickets have a little bit more trouble with that, and so we're lucky in that sense. I guess that makes a rich team and a poor team in a way. Because you got these guys that you can kind of count on for next season. But I mean, you got all these other guys coming in who's going to be real good. I think Bear Hat Man. I think he's going to be fantastic next season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You got a lot of guys who maybe weren't that way this season, but next season it's going to be totally different. We're going to talk about them.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Dusty Crust is going to be like that. He, if you guys have ever seen Dusty Crust, he is not the best batter, 219 average overall, but about 95%. It's where like every at bat was basically just a swinging bunt for him.
Yeah,
it felt like but I've seen his stats. I saw what happened to Joey because the same exact thing happened to Joey Phillips in spring training. Was that there was a certain threshold where once he progressed past that, he went from swinging bunts, 219 average, to killing the ball. So I really think next year, if we're going to get Dusty back, we're going to get Bob Marley back, we're going to get Biscuit Basher back, we're going to have Charlie back. If we get those four guys, right, and we keep progressing down the path that I've told them, it's a little San Juan secret, but if they keep sticking to the master plan, we should be in good business with Jamie Borquez.
Yeah, true. Yeah, Borquez is, I think, going to be improved next year. Definitely. Yeah. So
I don't want to. Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, because I don't want to toot my own horn, but Borquez was, team leader in a lot of categories except home runs. Yeah. Biscuit Basher hit more home runs than he hit the most home runs on our team, and he had 50 less at bats than the average player, basically.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Biscuit Basher was. I mean, it was either. I mean, I would always do the reviews every week for the BHP Tonight, and I would be like, okay, Biscuit Basher went, 3 for 5 with a home run, or this guy went 3, so it was just he's always, on top of it. So
and a
another
really good
question,
guy, really good guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So another question that was asked too was if there's any more expansion, what do you think are good cities for expansion?
So
So
I saw that Wildfire. You're right. Miami is a great place. I kind of want a renaissance of the Tokyo Dragons. I think that would be a really good idea. 'Cause
Yeah.
I really like the Tokyo Dragons.
That's true. He was supposed to do Tokyo Dragons, wasn't he? That's right.
Yeah. I'd say you kind of want to hit like the major. If we're, you kind of want major international areas. So, I don't know,
think
Washington
London,
maybe,
probably.
or like Baltimore. London's good.
Baltimore
London
will be
pitch.
good. I don't see it happening for a while. I think. Unless San Juan's going there, but
No. I like San Juan. They've
I
got
like beaches.
got it all together.
I think Toronto might be good. Or some Canadian, Calgary, Vancouver, something
Yeah.
for Canadian, because we've had Canadians and
Mhm.
we still have some, but
Yeah.
they're not represented, and I think it would be very easy to recruit if you're a Canadian team, because any of the Canadians who come on, and they're on Reddit and everything else where we recruit any Canadian comes on, they're automatically going to Canada, the Canadian team. Another team's going to have to recruit them away before they're ever even on.
Yeah.
You know, so there's
That's
a big
the thing.
advantage.
Yeah.
And
You're leaning towards your hometown team or your home country team.
yeah, and if it has a number of Canadians, yeah, sure, let's go. That's where they're going most likely. So I think that's a good expansion thing.
That's actually really smart. Yeah.
Yeah. Parker said
Canada.
Parker wants a German team.
German team.
Yeah, he said, how about a Germany team?
I've been to Germany. They're not really big baseball fans. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some German baseball fans, but most German baseball fans are just military station, American station there.
Yeah.
But anything fun would be good, Like you could, I don't know, do any country you want. You could do like Scotland or something,
Yeah.
Blue faces. I don't know if you can do that in SMB3. That'd be cool. But
yeah, I think really what you got to find is a good stadium to fit with it. So a lot of those ideas, they have a stadium that goes with it.
Kirky doesn't have the best stadium for fitting with Kirky.
Just go to the Colonial Plaza maybe.
Kirky ain't moving. My stadium is part of the strategy. So
yeah, you gotta keep the strategy up.
You just took the whole stadium from Jamaica and moved it all the way over to Kirky.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah,
whatever.
We're just
the
too
BHB, nothing is there's no money to worry about.
Yeah.
Let me see. The Hurricane, Park of the Hurricane says Montreal, Cincinnati, Louisville, Detroit. Louisville. Cincinnati and Louisville are kind of offsetting because they're really close to each other. I think Louisville's a good place to put a team.
Yeah, could be.
Because, Louisville, Bats, they got a lot of guys there.
So at least in my experience with sim players, from a recruitment standpoint, which is I guess the best interest of the league rather than just a fun place to put it, I found there are a number of players from Maryland, like a fair number, but a lot from Indiana, like Indianapolis. I think it'd be a fantastic team to do. How many sim players are from Indianapolis?
Where do you think Irvington is?
Oh well, shit.
That's New Jersey, right?
California. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Irvington is a suburb of Indianapolis.
Oh.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day.
There you go.
I looked up. So you've got suddenly just great recruiting.
See, there you go.
Yeah. Might need to make an Annapolis team or something like that, some old Maryland team.
There you go. So I don't know if the big man is in here, but he did want to remind that Barry Steak Fries was murdered by a fastball in the Derby series.
No.
So maybe he won't show up.
You can't mess up a Barry Steak Fries thing if he isn't showing up,
Yeah.
It just leaves the inconsistency out.
I
I'm
mean,
interested to see
I'd be
what
okay with it.
with the Steamers. I'm interested to see whether they put steakhouse on.
Yeah.
Because if it were me, I might not. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, he's good, but or at least put him in the third game as opposed to like the first or whatever.
Yeah, that might
No.
be smart.
Knowing Dong, he'll put him in there game one. Knowing him.
Well, yeah. It might
Knowing,
be best to put him in game one,
yeah, true.
I mean, if you're gonna lose, you're gonna lose it. So
Yeah.
You lose game one, you can come back. But if you lose game 6,
I was gonna say he's got home field advantage for that, right? But I guess that's not really a thing for the Steamers.
that's not really a thing for
No.
them.
No. Because he was actually hoping I jumped up to second. So then he wouldn't have to play at home so much, but
Yeah,
that didn't happen.
I wanted you guys, not, I'm just gonna be honest. I wanted the Crickets to just sweep you guys because we had the advantage. If we had won out and you guys had lost out, we would have taken that 3 spot. That would have been
Yeah.
nice. Come back to Cleveland and repeat what happened last week. But
Mhm.
alas, the Man Meats had different ideas, and Irvington decided to win a game, so we're playing
There
Kirk
you go.
instead.
So there was something that popped up in league rumors saying that Bart received a phone call from an old friend talking about wanting to possibly do something next season. So I think your Tokyo talk might have riled up a wildfire up there. Just saying.
There you go.
So that could be
Hey,
something.
you know what I just realized is that we're gonna have minors next year, right? All of these ideas that we're coming up with, we should just have them in minor leagues. Have a Maryland team,
Yeah.
have a Tokyo team, or
Yep.
stuff like that.
Yeah. So I mean, with the minors coming in and everything else, it's going to be interesting to see, what decisions are made during the offseason and how we set everything up. So looking really forward to that. So just to kind of wrap things up, we're going to go ahead and give out predictions. So
Predictions.
so
I'll go
Tom,
last because I've got too many hot takes. I told you guys before, too many spicy
Tom,
hot
go ahead.
takes.
Well, I can do us is easier for me. So your guys, the Pandas and Steamers, I'll take that second. Kirky, this is going to be a difficult one and a hard fought one. Everybody, I saw like the Vegas odds or whatever, and I think those are totally off because Kirky should not be favored as much as it is. Like it seems like everybody's just like, yeah, Kirky, of course they're going to win. No, this is not the regular season, and this is not the same Cazadores who we've been playing. This is a totally different team because they're all upgraded. This isn't the same team. This is just playing an entirely different team.
Yeah.
And they're a team that has got the stuff now. Before I'd say, one time you had Mafia on a long time ago, and he said, like, okay, there's the different levels, and then he took a shot at the meats at the end, but he was like, he's like, yeah, they're the championship teams and then the playoff teams, and the Cazadores were a playoff team. They're not anymore. They're a championship team, and people have to realize that. And they are, to me, the most dangerous team to play. They may not be the most upgraded team compared to the Steamers or the Pandas, maybe, but they are the most dangerous team right now in the way that whatever they're doing with their builds, how their players are built, and how the game is processing that, they're working with an advantage now. For they're hitting above their weight, and so they're dangerous. I think the game will at least go 6 games. We may go all 7. I think Kirky will pull it out, but we're not. I think we will do better whoever we take on in the World Series if we pull it out. We'll do better against either the Pandas or Steamers than we did against the Cazadores. I think in right now the Cazadores are the second best team in the league right now, and I think I wouldn't want another progression after this one against them, because they're dangerous. And so I think it'll go 6 or 7 games, 6 games probably. Kirky will pull it out. And that'll be like we discussed before. It'll be because of our pitching, especially our relief pitching, or our starters can go longer than their starters, and then that wins it for us, and then we move on. But it's not a foregone conclusion by any means. And then for you guys are interesting because the Steamers have been slipping, and you guys have been, you split with them and everything else. But I gotta say, I think at the end of it, it's progression that's going to make the difference here. And I don't know how your team is going to progress compared to the Steamers. If your team progresses more than the Steamers, your team wins. And the other thing is you're playing them at home or for their home, and that is you playing at home. Either way you play them, you're playing at home.
Yeah.
So I assume, or if I were going to bet, like if I were to had to put money down, I'm going you guys move on. But you guys goes game 7, and then you guys move on. Maybe the game is decided in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning of game 7, or maybe the 10th, who knows. And then after that, you play us, is my prediction. And I think that will go a little bit shorter, maybe 5 games. And then Kirky would win if we play you. If the Cazadores win against us, watch out, because I'm going to put my money on the Cazadores then. And that's my prediction. And my computer's dying, so I'm going to go get a charger.
All right.
Perfect. Should I go next, or do you want to?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Hot take, because I'm about to put on my Max Kellerman, my Skip Bayless, my absolute ESPN tier take hat on right now. Just to say, first things first, I want to bring attention. This is not to disrespect the Kirky Turkeys, but they still don't have the level of offense that I think, San Juan we do in terms of, just raw war and stuff like that. So I look at the disparity in disparity in offense. I look at the fact that they don't really have a good reliever other than Zimbabwe, who's shut down. So if we get a good roll, basically, with whatever the AI says, then we could feasibly have a really good chance. And I look at them slumping against the Steamers, a team that we took 3 out of, So I look at all these 3 things. Yeah. I look at all these 3 things, and I'm kind of putting 2 and 2 together. I'm like, I think we have a chance. Now listen, I'm not going to hide my bias. I thought we were a championship team from the very beginning. I really think that this series is going to go 7 games. At least 2 of them are going to go to the extra inning. I think we're going to win both times. The extra inning games are going to be won by us because we have not lost an extra innings game, and we have a little bit more depth. We have bad relievers, but they're still competent relievers. I really think it's a coin flip between Kirky and I think it's a coin flip for both of them, honestly, where really it just comes down to who gets lucky with, mojo and really small intangible things. So me being, me liking my Cazadores, I'm going to say Cazadores take the Turkeys. Everyone's stunned. Everyone in Albuquerque starts completely. No one expected this. I don't know. And then on the other side, I really think the Mad Pandas. I don't think it's going to go 7 with Mad Panda Steamers. I really think the Mad Pandas have a lot more. I look at the Steamers and I see a really, really inconsistent rotation, similar to our rotation, where they have great games and terrible games. So Irvington's coming off a little bit of a better end. They basically play at home. they've got a pretty good progression. I'd say about equal when it comes to the. And I kind of just look at past games, it's a split. So there isn't much to go off of. I'd say my Dickshot money shot, Pandas
don't do that.
in 5. Pandas in
Oh.
5. I'm not gonna put
It's
the
not gonna
official
happen,
stamp
man.
on it to curse
It's
you.
not going to happen.
Wait, you both curse. If you rooted for the Cazadores, so now we're gonna get swept. If you do the Dickshot money shot for the Turkeys, then the universe will explode or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys have to root against each other, and then it'll work. I think honestly, if I'm an optimist, I say the Cazadores could feasibly make it all the way. If I'm a realist, I think this is the year of Irvington, just because they've shown to be the most consistent team.
Yeah.
Where the Turkeys have played really good. Their kryptonite is the Steamers. The Steamers, the kryptonite is San Juan. San Juan, our kryptonite's Kirky. No, every single time any of them play. Now I don't want to. Let me pull up head to head. With the exception of the Turkeys, we're split against them, and the Steamers are split against them. So I really think that just looking at that consistency and looking at not really street boom or bust, but more just kind of a level playing field, I really think Irvington could make it all the way. But my big take comes for my team. I think that one player and one player alone is going to make this series for us. If he does well, sky's the limit. If he does poorly, well, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys at Albuquerque or Irvington or wherever. Not Joey Phillips. Joey Phillips definitely, but that's obvious. I can't be a hot take machine if I just say the obvious. I think if Bob Marley and Dusty Crust, and they've been getting really good. If you saw their last game, the last series, they started to come into their element.
Mm-hmm.
If they can finally put that potential that they put into their ratings that we know they have, if they put that potential, then the sky's the limit, And
Mhm.
I feel bad for these guys because they're really good people. They're going to be on our team next year. They're really active in our kind of GM little round table or whatever you want to call it. A little conspiracy table. I don't know what the term is. Let me put this hat off. It's really hot in here. And I think if those two break out, Cazadores are going all the way. But this is hard. It's not like you can really have a hot take because every single team really has like a 25% chance of making it in, honestly.
Yeah.
There's no clear favorite anymore.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Besides the fact, I'd like to say some of the players have been great, and Titanius Englesmith has been fantastic. Came off of crickets, was garbage. Came off of crickets, turned him into something great. I think Devin Anthony is the X factor for your team for the playoffs because just like when you start out the early part of the game, how it's important to get your pitcher locked in, and that makes so much of a difference. You know what I mean? If Devin Anthony comes out and at any point he can hit a home run, and he doesn't belong hitting them, but yet he does. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He'll come out, hit a surprise home run, and if he hits it on his first at bat when it's early in the game, then you're going to have a pitcher who could be tense because maybe they were already hit a home run when your guy did or whatever.
Mhm.
Then you're going to win the game.
Yeah.
I think so. I think the important player to watch, at least for me, is to watch Devin Anthony and see what he does.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like I've said before, I think Devin is a key factor. So I'll break down your guys's first. Turkeys, Cazadores. The Cazadores have been hot, coming in here. They've played really well. like you said, Tom, they're a dangerous team. And that's the team that really, I was kind of hoping I didn't have to face, to be honest, because they're just they're tough. Biscuit Basher, Trent Williams, Dusty Crust, all these guys, they have a solid lineup. And if they jump on ahead of you guys early, I mean, it could be trouble. But in the end, experience matters. Obviously, with what you guys did in season 1, winning the championship, I think, with the guys that you have, plus you didn't lose anybody, if I remember correctly. So getting that experience, I think you guys take it in 6. I think that, like I said, I think the Cazadores will make it interesting. But I think you guys take it in 6. So as far as ours, I mean, it's so unpredictable because, us and the Steamers just play each other so well. Really, this is what I'm dubbing as the Darla Bowl. So, whoever, I think I should have made a bet with Dong that whoever wins the rights to Darla.
Hey, what if maybe she likes the sandy beaches of San Juan,
Well, I think she likes the smelly city of Cleveland. I'm not sure, but she went off on some boat with him, so who knows? But yeah, so I mean, really for us in our series, it's going to be about jumping out in front. If Steak Fry shows up and just dominates like he does, getting 7-8 strikeouts, then it's going to be really hard to beat. Peter McLongfellow's got to come out and pitch well. He came out of the bullpen this season and has really actually been pretty decent. Pressing Dicky Rodriguez, them guys have got to step up and have great games, and they've had great games all year. But just like Peter too, I mean, they've all had their struggles. So the pitching for us, I think, is key. If we can really shut down that powerful offense of Cleveland, then I think we have a shot. So my prediction, it won't be a Dickshot money shot because I know it'll be wrong, is going to be that I think we take it in 7. Just because I think that the Steamers, like Tom alluded to, they've struggled the past 2 or 3 series. The last series we played, we beat them 3 out of 4. And really just the bats were just dominant, and the pitching was actually phenomenal too. So I think we take it in 7. So then that comes up with the matchup of us and the Turkeys. And I don't know where the magic ball goes because I can't ever figure out how to beat the Turkeys. If I do, it's like 1 game. I don't think I've even split a series with them, even when they were still called the Hummingbirds. So I think he's right. I think that if we do it, I think if we won, it would have to be just short of a miracle. So I think the Turkeys take it all in 6. I know you said 5, but I'm going to at least give myself some credit. So I think it's going to be in 6, and that's going to wrap up the second season of the BHB in a phenomenal way. So,
hey, honestly, I'm cool with anything really. I'm just excited to see how this great league just unfolds. To be honest, we got a lot of guys, and I think season 3, that chase for the Bartolo, this time next season, oh my God, it's going to be some crazy stuff we're going to be talking about, some miracles.
I think when it comes to that, it's going to be like how Kirky was so far ahead for a good while. Not next year. Next season is going to be tight. It's going to be 1 or 2 games between everybody in the order. You know what I mean? There's nothing that's going to be taken for granted. Like you kind of take for granted Kirky was going to go to the playoffs. Nah, not next season.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, next year is going to be
guaranteed.
Next year is going to be so competitive. I mean, this year was really after you kind of got away from once you hit the Cazadores and then maybe even the Crickets, but once you had the man meets out of the way, then it was just competitive all the way. And it was kind of like coming down to the last couple of series where I didn't know if it was going to be Lubbock going up against the Turkeys or it was going to be San Juan. But I'm glad the way it turned out because I think San Juan deserved to be in the top 4, obviously.
Hey, if you had told me before the season that I'd make the playoffs, I'd freak out, honestly.
Yeah.
I have really high hopes, but when I first joined the league, and I thought it would be us and the man meets, in the cellar, just kind of hanging out.
Well, yeah, especially because you guys are the two new teams on the block this season. And then, Lubbock already had all them players from the past season progress, and they just, I don't know what happened to them, but they just kind of took a different turn in the middle of the season. But like we talked about all show is, Sully's going to, I think, turn that thing around. So,
Yeah.
and then obviously the base that New York and LA have, it's going to be a tough league next year for sure.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I keep messaging Dong. I don't know if he's even around because I don't know if he's going to end this thing or not, but I was going to give him the last word if he's on, but I don't think he is. So, all right. So you guys have any last words?
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
Well, playoffs, it's going to be fun. So, and it's going to be tight. All the games are going to be tight. There might be one blowout, and that's it. Everything else is going to be coming down to the end of the game, and I think it's going to be awesome to watch. So jump in and watch. Actually, comment. We'll all be there. Next season, if you're a man meet, don't hold your head up high because you guys finished well, and you're gonna be good. And cricket's same.
Yeah.
This is not, and some teams like the Empire or the Meats hadn't got mentioned this much for this top, which is obviously it's a playoff thing here. But them guys, you guys are going to be good. Everybody's going to be good, and so stick with it and play.
Honestly, I Trent, I don't want to step on anything, but I think last word, and this is just to everyone in the league, is that if you thought this was crazy, just watch next year. Just watch, when it's game 30, we're 2 series left and there's absolutely no telling who's going to win the division,
Yeah.
I really think that just the way, the kind of organic nature of how progression's gone, how, one of our best players has gone on and started his own team and it's really good now. I really think that honestly, if you're a man meets player and you're kind of on the fence, like, I don't know if I should go on, and I don't know if you're listening to this or not, or if you're a crickets player and you're like, you know what, I might just sign with a playoff team. That loyalty you show now could pay off huge down the line because those teams are only a piece away. And as for my team, this year has exceeded expectations. Even 10 games left, I didn't think I'd go 2020. Honestly, I'm just so glad. I'm so grateful to have such great guys, Joey, Bob Marley, Leslie, who is Biscuit Basher, Dusty, Charlie Bubblegum coming in clutch, just all these great guys. And that's kind of the thing about the BHB. It's got such a great community of guys. You got Tom and Donny over here. We're just such nice guys. I could go on and on. And I would just like to say Bomb City is currently on the move, and it will shortly take up its new residence in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's all I have to say.
I was going differently. That way, a totally different route than I thought I was going to.
Oh. No. We're saying in San Juan until, I don't know.
Until we kick you out.
Yeah, until I do something stupid,
So I'll do the last word then. First off, thanks for everybody for being on. Thanks to you both for being on here today. It was kind of one of the things I wanted to do for the show was to be able to have a big playoff preview. Obviously, we try to get a member of the Steamers on, but they've just been busy. And I do want to give a shout out to our fearless leader, Dong, who's actually going through some stuff today, but he was still able to get our stream up. So, good vibes are sending, good vibes from me, good vibes from both of us, all three of us in here actually sending Dong's way. He's going through some stuff today. So, just keep your head up, Dong. That's all I really can say about that. But like I said, the playoffs will be starting, I think, next week. So everybody tune into that. And then that's pretty much it. I mean, so like I said, thank you everybody for showing up in the chat. Thank you for the questions. Like I said, once again, thank you to Mafia and Tom Schaefer for jumping on today. And that'll be it.
Thank you to Mr.
All
Donny
right.
Dickshot
Yeah.
for his great podcast. Honestly, it's really entertaining. I'm not a big podcast buff, but I listen to that every time it comes out.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you to Dong, and just thank you, who's in the audience right now, for just making this, this league such a special thing. And
That's it.
that's it.
Yeah. All right. Dawn, by the way, you're not going to get Darla, so don't even think about it.
Oh,
So I want her back, by the way. I need her for good luck.
no, I don't know.
All right. Well, you guys take it easy. All right.
Later, guys.
All right. See you guys later.
All right. Ciao.